Welcome, everyone, to the CEO Grind with Jay and Wes. I'm Wes, and welcome back to the CEO Grind. Today, we're exploring how international leadership shapes company culture. And we're also going to discuss Airbnb's recent expansion into the service experiences and what it means for short-term rental hosts. So welcome back. Jay, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Wes. Thanks for the intro. And this is interesting because as a short-term rental owner and an investor, and I'm always in this space, I usually ignore these announcements. Like when Airbnb announced something, because I'm so much in it, I'm like, oh, here comes another thing, right? But before talking about the cultural shift, Keegan sent something. It's like, Jay, did you see this? Boom, 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 boom. And then we're trying to discuss what these new experiences are that Airbnb is pushing, which I believe it's an additional service. Again, I purposely did not watch the release because I had to click away to do work. So, Keegan, if you want to do the honors and put that on the screen so we can watch it again. Go ahead. All right.
You didn't know who you'd meet or what you'd discover. And over time, it became less of an adventure and more of a checklist. But the world is still full of wonder. You just need a better way to find it. Introducing Airbnb Experiences. Master ramen with an award-winning chef. Ride to hidden temples with an anthropologist. Dive into underground jazz with a renowned bassist. Or see Notre Dame with her. She helped restore it, by the way. Don't just see a place. Experience it.
All right. So, what are they saying? So, what is this?
What is that Airbnb? They're offering an avenue to explore and experience things in the area that you're renting an Airbnb from, I would assume. I wonder, my curiosity is, they're spreading themselves out from their niche. And I see positives and I see negatives on it. I see they're spreading themselves from their niche. So is that going to cost them more overhead? Are they going to still be able to give the same professionalism as they give with their Airbnb niche? Is services going to get watered down, or a lot of logistical problems? They have they been trying this? Have they had a beta group to practice this, so they have their processes hashed out? What kind of income is this going to cost? Is their net profit margin going to go up or down? Because of it. Those are the negatives that I see. The positives that I think that I see would be, they're involving other different companies to get in the game, generating business for that area. And I think that they're generating business for that specific Airbnb. Like, let's just pretend I'm going to use the Grand Canyon. Everyone wants to see the Grand Canyon. So that is what attracts people out to Arizona to sit and rent Airbnbs around the Grand Canyon. Well, what they're doing is exposing all those other little wonderful nuggets of that area to be able to experience, like they said, spa or famous chef, whatever, or just I'm sure different entertainment things in an area that an Airbnb is being offered. I remember when you came here, you were working here. You were on and renting Airbnb with someone where their market was probably chasing people like yourself on a business trip. But I think this opens up doors for more of the vacationers. Or let's say you're on a business trip, you were here for a project for like 3 or 4 months. Maybe there's times where, you're not working and hey, what does this community have to offer? I mean, I'm bored, sick, whatever, not going just to the bar or whatever, So I think there's a lot of positives and negatives. It'll be fun to watch and see how this goes and how we feel about the services that we experience once I rent something to sample the experiences, if that makes sense. Your thoughts, Jen? Or
I don't have a thought yet. I have questions, honestly. I really have questions still, because thinking of a host, right? And this is thinking of the host that has more than 5 properties. Let's say 5 to 10. I'm thinking of that person because that person already probably depends on that income for about 40 to 50%, if not more, of their livelihood. What does that mean if Airbnb, as you said, is spreading themselves too thin? How is that support that they already struggle providing hosts and guests alike as the middleman? How is that going to impact, right? They are going to bounce back or whatever. They're going to generate revenue in this new product. Obviously, you're launching, you put a lot of effort, you did a media release. Something's going to come out of it, right?
Yeah, they may have even done a beta group where they had they offer these services in one community to see how it worked, and everyone that went to that community, already had the experience. Who knows?
Correct. So I missed my attorney's call. It's fine. I'll call back. So Columbus, I guess. My biggest gripe with Airbnb, and let's put Uber in that category, DoorDash, iFoods, and there are so many more. And across the world, these companies are there. And they're oftentimes called the gig economy, right? The gig economy companies. Correct?
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that?
I'm following.
No. Sorry. I was just confirming. Had you ever heard of that term, the gig economy?
No.
Okay. All right. So we'll if you haven't, maybe other folks haven't, right? So we'll put a definition post of what it is, like the very specific, but essentially it allows individuals to be 1099 workers and work for Uber. I don't work for them, right? But I can make kind of however many dollars I make. Why do I say Airbnb is in the gig economy? Because anybody can list their place on Airbnb. Anyone can say, if you have 2 bedrooms in your house, or even if you have a couch and you want to generate a couple extra dollars and you live in a location where somebody would be interested in that couch, you can take a picture of that freaking couch, upload to Airbnb, and you have a listing, right? Now, Airbnb takes a fee out of every transaction. It varies depending on location and rules, etc. But I would say usually the host is paying 3% of the transaction and Airbnb is tackling another 10 to 13 to the guest, right? So you have 15% of spread that Airbnb is making on that. But who's doing all the work?
Who's doing all the work? Oh, okay. When I read that announcement, I was assuming, and it may be different, that Airbnb was like putting a concierge in place for these services. So I felt that would Airbnb be absorbing the, oh, you're saying the customer, actually us, we're absorbing the cost. Is that what you're going? If you break it down, I would thought that Airbnb would be paying for like a concierge service to do this. But then they're going to have to raise the rates to the Airbnb homeowner, I guess. And then you're saying the Airbnb homeowner then would raise the rates to the customer. Is that where you're going with this?
Not necessarily. I was not going that far. I was saying that whatever Airbnb offers, they are a broker.
Right.
All they're doing is integrating, right? They're not carrying the burden of the cost. They're not carrying the burden of the doing. They're carrying the burden of advertising that some folks are going to be providing experiences. But if I, as a host, I want to provide an experience, and again, I haven't read the whole thing, but they had a similar program, which I forgot what it was years ago. I have to take pictures. I have to describe what experience I'm doing, right? I have to do the whole thing so I can list on their platform, and they can take their 17%. So what I mean is there's a cost, but the cost is we're doing. They're just saying we're going to provide experiences. Again, the whole I have. I'm always curious to see who's going to do it. Is it going to work for everybody? And are they going to still be providing support on their main bread and butter? Which right now, my opinion is it's suffering. Booking.com and these other OTAs, right? Online travel agencies are really, 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 really taking a big slice out of their action. So that's what I think they are doing. They're just trying like, hey, let's go ahead and bump up some revenue on something new and different that ultimately will sizzle out. Because you can get a lot of early adopters of using that experience because people are going to be out there investing all the money and everything's going to be pristine and everything's going to work up to the point that you have to invest more money to maintain or to do it again and hire it again and expend. There's a limit, right? I'm talking a lot, but when they are offering a bad product, not a bad product, but a below average product to those actually using it, right? And they take, I don't know how many millions of dollars to release a new product. I question, hold on, how many issues did I have this week that were totally, with my guests, fault of the lack of support and transparency and excellent execution from the Airbnb platform that had an impact to the end consumer? A lot. Had impact to bottom line? A lot. And that's just me. And I am not the largest player. So I
think you're looking at this wrong.
Probably. I told you I was at the beginning. I told you.
What do you think about this? What if it's all about the structure of it?
Sure.
I don't know if Airbnb gives a bad product or not. I'm going to say that. I don't know. To me, I'm getting the impression that you feel that their product is a little substandard. I don't know.
No, not what I wanted. I will interrupt just to clarify that point.
Sure. Would you?
I do not. I think that the product is great. What they provide as a mission, right? What the goal is. Their execution is subpar. Their
processes.
Yeah, the support, right? So if you are my broker, right, and I'm a broker, and you're buying a house, and somebody is selling it to you, it's not just about shaking hands and closing the deal. It's about how easy it was to shake hand and close the deal. See what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
goal is the same. So how many hours me as a host have to spend supporting a bad egg? How many hours me as a host have to spend supporting a bad egg? Because I have to comply with the rules and policies of Airbnb.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is the bad part. So when someone is thinking about, can I use this broker's product to further my business goals for today and for tomorrow? When I look at Airbnb new products, I question, because I already have the experience with their main product, that it is a struggle to keep your costs down when it comes to spending time with the platform, solving issues.
Yeah. So I'm going to back up a little bit. So
Sure.
Airbnb then is, you're saying, okay, the experience, okay, if I have a really nice house and I want to do it, it's me, Wesley, that's offering this nice house through this process or platform of Airbnb. So Airbnb technically really is the platform only. And you're saying that the platform is substandard, or you just don't get the customer service out of that platform. Because I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere with this.
I'm going to tell you one thing that it's going to hit home for you.
Okay.
Airbnb equals Home Advisor.
Home Advisor.
You've worked with Home Advisor in the trades business.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do?
You got to make a phone call, this, that, and the other thing, right? Is that what you're telling me about? What, I don't know. I guess I don't know.
They are a middleman between the contractor and the homeowner.
Oh, yeah, right. They are.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
and they do a horrible job providing support. I have been on both sides of the equation with Home Advisor. I've been a contractor when they were charging you $7 for bed leads, $10, $45 for a water heater lead. You know what I mean? And that was like 8 years ago. It was absurd, right? And then when somebody didn't do whatever they had to do as a customer, there was no support. Refunds, oh my God. And it was like always in your account. As a customer, working with them, even if you ordered their better plan, right, that you have supposed to have their support, have a discount on the jobs, and have the handymans coming to help your individual Airbnb, right? If you have one or two properties and you want to leverage Home Advisor, you will hire somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. They will come do a bad job, right? Almost burn your house or do something extremely unsafe that OSHA would say, oh my God, what the heck's going on here? And then you will call Airbnb, which you already paid the Airbnb. You call Home Advisor, which you already paid the annual fees. And they'll say, oh, there's nothing we can do. There goes your $200 for that service call. Do you see what I'm saying? So they're a middleman that act like an absentee landlord. So when they're telling me that they're going to do experiences, get the heck out of here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had an experience where I was working with one of those companies, and I don't know if I give the name or not, but anyways, they wanted me to do this big deal. And what's a big deal? I get a little more extra marketing on their platform that month in my industry, offering a big deal. So I started doing these big deals, and it was really hard. They wanted such a take that it was really hard for me to make a profit. So I kept thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to do this. I was at the beginning of my company. It was like in the first year or two of my company, I was working with them because I didn't have any, I had to generate work. And I kept saying to myself, you know what? I cannot look at this to make money, this company. All I can use this for is an avenue to market. This is just market, getting my name out there, because I wasn't making any money with one of those companies. But not only that, what really bothered me is, let's say I would do a big deal. And I looked at, okay, I broke that down. I said, okay, who's buying the big deal? You know, someone who doesn't want to pay as much money. So they want a discounted price. So then I said, okay, there's some people that don't use this product unless they only look in the big deal area. kind of like they only go to the clearance section at a grocery store, at a store. So anyways, I'd go to these companies, I would get these jobs, and I was going and doing these jobs. And at the end of the job, the customers, that I'm not lying, this happened to me on more than one occasion. I stopped working with these companies because of this. They would say, hey, I want a better price than what you're giving me, or I'm leaving a bad review on their platform. And like I said, the only thing I could do, I wasn't making money on it because of the fact they had such a take on it. So I thought I'd use it as my experience, as my marketing, get my name out there as a number one, grade A plus contractor. And knowing, okay, I'm not making money. I'm kind of exchanging dollars here. I'll use this marketing, get my name out there, get a lot of reviews on their platform. People start knowing me that way. And then when they started doing that, and I started having customers then come to me when I'm in their home, and they say, hey, I ain't paying. And if I have to pay, I'm leaving a bad review on their platform. And that platform, that company that was running that platform couldn't do nothing for me. Like, I gave them the scenario of what happened. They said, well, we really can't do nothing about it. And I stopped working with them because of it.
And that is why my skepticism about this experience, and quite honestly, I'll be frank, I did not listen the whole thing. But fundamentally, if you're a middleman, you are making money off of the transaction. You are supposed to treat both sides of the transaction equally, with respect, and within the rules that you have set, and we all shook on it. And time again, Airbnb fails to do that. Whether you hit their call center in Manila, if they have one, whether it's in India, whether it's in Texas, or wherever they have their customer service, whatever their knowledge center is, it is not standard, and it hurts the bottom line of those working with their platform and the experience of their guests more often than their reviews and stars care to admit. So when they launch a new product, is it the same people that are going to manage this new product, the people that manage their main product? I question before I even read it. So more to come on that after we get more familiarized. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this version of the CEO's Grind, and really is a react video on something that just came out and impacts hosts and small business owners and medium-sized business owners and CEOs of all walks of life throughout the world, which is this new product that Airbnb Experiences is launching, which will take some resources from whatever they do from their main customer base, which are hosts, which they take quite a bit of money from it. And sometimes the delivery of the service is below average. Keep grinding.
Grinding. Take care, fellas. Take care, everyone.